So
I want the info.
yes, so I don't come back now, Gary. I'll make sure I no vex my people. Yes, so the problem where we get before now, internet network problem. So we had to switch off and restart. We had to reboot. And we don't come back now. So my guests will soon join us. I don't call her, I don't apologize to her. So when they talk to Dr. Tosin Ajala, when they play the music of General Prince Adekunle here. This one they call Awodim for Ferefe. Yes, as we wait for Dr. Ajala, all of our way get questions. Our guests don't arrive.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hey, my very special doctor, how are you, sir? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, so I hear you now. Our people make no vex. The problem where we get before we say they just seize my microphone and anything where they talk, Dr. Ajala no go hear me, and that one no go make sense. So we don't go on top of mountain of fire. We don't say Holy Ghost fire to them. So today, we will complete this program. So my doctor, welcome, sir. Welcome on board. As we do, you welcome, my brother. Yeah, now our first program today for 2021 be this. So make you greet our people well. Make you greet a Happy New Year. All of the above.
Okay, we thank God for bringing us into 2021. 2020, we know, it's a very, very difficult year all over the world. When we were going into 2020, we feel say we go enter with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of happiness. But God knows has in the doing things. 2020 will be a special year that we would all, in fact, I fit talk say we go won't forget, but we no go fit forget them because now the year of coronavirus and the problems that one create. But as we enter 2021 now, my belief as a doctor is that things are looking better. We are still at the very beginning of it, but one can see the ray of hope and sunshine ahead. So I'll leave it at that for now, sir.
Thank you, my brother. What do we go first ask as we they ask everybody now brief background, because some people say fit come your surgery, come tell you say, oh, I get small fever, I get small backache. They're not gonna say the person they talk to them original Nigerian. So tell us, give us a brief background of where they born you, where how you did, the school days and the growing up days, the pattern days, as I go call out, the days where they run around with the Bible and the power for the streets of Lagos.
Okay.
Tell us.
In truth, they born me for this country. But soon after the war in Nigeria, the Biafran war in Nigeria, my father was drafted back to the Nigerian Army Medical Corps. This was to try and help the soldiers that had been involved in the war. So I went back to Nigeria in 1970. From that time, I can't go one very good school, primary school called Sunnyfields and Tenderfoot. Very good school. And from that time, I leave that one. I can't go one of the greatest secondary schools in Nigeria, if not the greatest, St. Gregory's College.
Greatest in the world, upgrades.
I'm proud
the greatest
to say,
school in the world, my brother.
That G.D. Jossy is also an alumni of Greg.
Of Greg's, yes.
So I finished from Greg's in 81. I can't do small ipata, I do. Anyway, when time reach, I enter university, I go Unilag. I can't go study medicine there. 1990. Then about 9. And since I have, by God's grace, been able to train in some of the best institutions. Organization is obstetrics and gynecology, mainly gynecology. And within that, I can't get extra specialization in that is minimal access. So, a consultant, also being head of department for my hospital, which is a university hospital in Brighton until last year. So, my area is obstetrics and gynecology. For that said, right, I have a very good idea of what COVID has been doing to us, how we help ourselves, and what are the good things that we look forward to in terms of immunization, because a lot of things have been said in terms of immunization. In fact, on the 22nd, as they collect my own first immunization, I send message to my boys on WhatsApp. Say, I don't collect my first one, no. The second one, I will collect them in January. It is very important that we use this kind of forum to ensure that we give the right information to our people, so that because in this day and age of internet, a lot of false information they go around, including the one where they harmful to us. So if we fit come together, talk about these things, right? Disperse the one way they true, the one way no they true, make we pack them for one side. Is very, very important. For us that are living in this country, we are fortunate. We are fortunate that we would hopefully have access to these vaccines when they become widely available. But I'll leave it at that for now.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. May I just say quick hello and happy new year to one or two people. DJ Alexo, thank you very much. Adelaide Jumi, thank you very much. Adelaide Jumi. Sheyi Jola Osho, all the way from Nigeria. Happy new year to you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, my doctor, the problem where people, lay man and woman like me, go have be say, how we go take, excuse me, I get a small cold. How we go take determine the real fact from all this nonsense and jargons that's been going on, especially in social media. You know, like there was a little video clip where they go around yesterday or a couple of days ago of somebody who claims saying they record for hospital and the hospital they empty, deserted. And the person no get sense to think, say, this hospital where they deserted, it get reason. On the normal day, if you go hospital, share hospital, they deserted like that. But if they use that propaganda, they spread on unnecessary rubbish, say, oh, COVID no exist, nobody did there, nobody did under admission. So how we go, the problem where all the people where I don't talk to about this COVID situation, the problem where they get, they say, how we go take know which information is true and which information is rubbish. My brother, please enlighten us.
You see, the truth about it, right, is that with all this internet and everything, right, it is very, very important. Make we be careful from where we source our information from. As I they sit down, where they speak to you now, my wife don't go work. My wife is a consultant in medicine, mainly elderly care. And the work we're in the group for this country, in the lead COVID ward. Now, in the lead COVID ward. Now, one of the colleagues last week, who be doctor, he died of this COVID.
Oh dear. Last week, just this last week.
Last week, just this last week. Now, in what done they full again? My hospital, my ward, other wards don't full. The gynecological ward where we they use, we don't convert them to COVID ward because we get two hospitals. We can't convert them to COVID ward. Our operations where we they do, we don't they minimize them, we don't they slow them down because there's no place to put patients. The truth about it, right, is that viruses, of which COVID is one, don't they with us even before mankind. And viruses would outlast mankind. In don't they well before mankind. Make I give you an example. Even for me, we are the gynecologist, cancer of the cervix, now virus they cause am, HPV.
Wow.
For many years, this virus we no get vaccination for am. Now, a few years back, we had vaccination for this virus. Where we don't they give young girls in this country, they give young girls abroad to protect. So the idea say COVID, they false. No, clinically, not only is it that we they test where we they see the virus, but the kind of X-ray presentation where COVID they give, they unique. Where we say when you see somebody X-ray or you see somebody CT scan of the chest, it is very unique to COVID. So there is no doubt in my mind that COVID day in existence. And you see, God know as in they do in things. The truth be say, if to say this COVID, they kill our king. If to say na children of school age, the COVID they kill. Nobody go talk say COVID no day. But because they kill the elderly, and because the rate at which they kill, even though in they spread widely, the rate they small in terms of the people where they catch up, right? That is why people are taking it for granted. My thing is that it is very important that we know basic things. COVID no dey fly. In they come out from our spit, in they come out from our breath. In no dey fly. So as we dey talk now, there is no way where I fit give you COVID. Even if I get COVID, I no fit give you COVID because we know they within the same environment. So what thing we fit do where we go protect ourselves? If me I know say na through my talk, na through my spit, I fit infect you, make I cover face. When I reach your place, make I give you distance, make I no come your house. You are my friend, I love you, so I want protect you, so I want protect me. When I dey any new area, I go wash my hands of the COVID. If it be say I go still get the COVID, but the amount, the dosage way I go get, where I go dey exposed to, go dey so small, where be say it no go cause me sick. In fact, instead of it make it cause me sick, I fit get immunity from it. But as we know, this thing, because of all the other underlying problem where we has do-dos where we get for this environment in terms of things like diabetes, hypertension, obesity. Now we the thing they kill pass. In they kill the thing pass the way in they kill Oyinbo. So now we supposed to open our air well, make we know say how we go do this thing. Oh, we say this thing no go wound us. In fact, as I talk to you, one of my wife, very good friend, I still send them text today. In get COVID, in be doctor, in their house. COVID no day. You know, like what people they say when Gary see hot water, I go turn the name to Eba. Person will say COVID no day. Say until the time where COVID catch you, you go to come believe, say COVID day. So very important. This thing day with us, this thing no be joke. Make we protect ourselves. I did say one thing, right? It is very important for us to protect ourselves and not put ourselves in an environment where we say we go day a situation where we say we go need to share ventilator with Oyinbo.
Why that, sir? Why that?
Well, without a shadow of doubt, we know that when you look at data in terms of care for BAME patients, we tend to get poorer outcomes. Now, I'm a doctor, right? And my colleagues will be Oyinbo, they are doctors as well. And since where they work for this country, right, I never see one Oyinbo who will say, I'm not going to treat this person because this person they be do. I'm not going to try my best because this person be do. But waiting we know, we say, even for things like make woman born pikin, make woman die from burning the pikin. Now do the die pass. Is it because they no take due attention? It is very easy for us to say racism. Some no be intentional. That doesn't make it any better. Waiting I they tell most of my colleagues, we say, if two of them need ventilator and now only one ventilator day, Oyinbo person na human being. Yes, it is quite possible, right, that he go see himself in another Oyinbo than to see himself in you. Yes. Not because he did wicked or anything.
And it's the same the other way around.
And it's the same the other way around. Exactly.
Yes. Now the same thing.
It's the same the other way around. So making her not putting herself in a situation where we say you go need to go into hospital, begin need ventilator. Cover your face, wash your mouth, cover your face, wash your hands, social distancing. And social distancing, we say make you no go another person's house, no go drink, no go pray for another person's house, pray for your own house.
Okay, one of our listeners, Ajala Dijumi, I think Dr. Ajala don't answer your question, because the question we ask, we say, how can we prevent the virus? So, and all what you don't the toxins, the advice of how we go take prevent the virus. Now, a lot of when the thing first start, like early last year, a lot of our people they talk say, oh, now the Chinese people started, then they eat live rabbit, then they eat live bat, then they eat live rat, then they do this, then they do that. A lot of videos they go around for social media, they show them whether they do this, then they do that. Say that now reality, really, our person, human being go fit carry live rat, put out for mouth, the chopper. Could these things be the cause of this? Because I know that the little I know about medicine, it not be much, because I'm an art student. Now we say things like bats and stuff like that can cause rabies with their bites or whatever. I don't know how we go fit associate or link COVID with that. What will be the real cause of this deadly disease, my dear brother?
Okay, the truth be say, right, this particular strain, right, which is known as SARS-CoV-2, right, this particular strain,
the latest one, but this current latest one,
we suspect say it come from bats. Okay. Now, how it take come from bats into the human population, it is unknown. But the most likely way is that there was contact, and through that contact, right, it could have been feeding on the bats. You where they talk like this, we know they chop bushmeat for Africa.
They chop
bushmeat. Now, the truth about it is that all these kind of things, right, there's also international politics. If we want to stop cross-infecting ourselves with viruses in animals, right, then we need to educate ourselves, right, and try and change our culture. The West would put their nose up on us, say with a chop bushmeat. They will put their nose up on the Chinese. If these things have risk, which they do, it is about culturally changing, right, these attitudes and these behaviors. So yes, the present virus originated from China, most likely through contact with bats, possibly by people feeding on bats. But if the Chinese feed on bats, you know, that's their culture. Just like in Africa, where we did eat bushmeat. It is about changing, gradually changing, and seeing, right, that there are risk involved with these things, right? Let us change, let us move away from this. But as long as we mingle with animals, then we are at risk of contacting the viruses. There is a thing that the HIV virus was initially from apes in Africa. Contact must have let that virus loose. And what I say is that viruses don't deal with us well before we live. If you go and look at, I spoke about HPV virus, where they cause cervical cancer. When they went into the pharaohs in the pyramids, the Egyptian pharaohs in the pyramids, and they tested them, they tested positive. Some of them tested positive for these viruses. That is how long they have been with us.
Yeah.
You know, so viruses will continue to be with us, right? It is how we deal with them. It is how we deal with the aftermath when we're exposed to them. And science don't go far. If to say this thing happened to us, right, say 100 years ago, it will for kill us anyhow. The reason why I know kill us anyhow is that even whether we like it or not, we still the social distance. We know they live like we they live before. Where we say one man go get 4 wives, 15 of them go live inside the same house. How you fit social distance? So quality of life has improved things for us. But what we must also do is that we must also be careful on an individual basis, understanding our individual responsibilities and what that has to the greater good of everybody around us.
Thank you very much, my doctor. Another thing where make I agree to some people because now our normal thing be that. JJ, Mr. James Johnson, I agree to you. Thank you very much. Bunch, my dear sister, you don't mark register again for 2021. I trust you. You never miss one episode. Thank you very much. Moses Owolabi, Big Mo, you are watching as well. Thank you very much. All the people where they watch. I got one question for you from one of our listeners, Dr. Ajala. And the person say, what is the difference between all these cloth masks that we wear and the normal disposable masks that is, which is more clinically hygiene? Some people go talk, say the paper masks or the disposable ones, they scratch them, they give them irritation, they give some people where they asthmatic, say they trigger their asthma. Other people go say, I don't want that. I like my own fancy because it's made of adire or Ankara or whatever. They say they like their own special things. Some of them even, some people don't turn them into money-making business. Football teams don't get their own. What is the difference between the clothes mask and the normal ones that we normally use, like the disposable ones? Is there any difference? And what are the advantages of each one?
The truth be say, right, each of those masks, right, gets in own the ability to reduce, right? To reduce the saliva, the spit that is coming out of your mouth, right? And also to protect you. Now, let me take you back to one thing. What is necessary is facial covering. Something that covers your face, that stops you when you're talking, propelling droplets, that stops you when you're breathing, passing droplets. All these FFP3 mask, right, is not necessary. In fact, they're very uncomfortable. Those masks are needed within a hospital setting or within an environment, right, where you need to protect yourself, right, from the virus that the patient may be expelling, especially when they're what we call you're doing aerosol generating procedures. If you remember, the first two doctors that died in this country were ENT doctors. ENT doctors are air, nose, and throat doctors. And that is because where they operate, which is the mouth, as they operate there on the nose, as they operate there, the patient tends to gag. If the patient gags, the patient would produce saliva. Now, these doctors at that time were wearing ordinary masks. Those ordinary masks would not have protected them, right, from exposure to the virus. So just facial covering for all of us in a day-to-day setting. If it's your Ankara, it's good. If it is your Ashoke, it is good, as long as you can breathe from it, right? And it protects both your nose and your mouth. In 1918, when they had the virus then, they were only using cotton, linen, teru to cover their faces. And that significantly helped. Over and above anything, all of us just covering our face, social distancing, and washing, right, would reduce the exposure and reduce our exposure to the virus. And as a matter of fact, if we're adhered to, right, can lead eventually to the burnout of the virus, but that will take a long time. So in summary, it is all about facial covering. Don't bother yourself with disposable mask or non-disposable mask. However, if you are using a non-disposable mask, it means that when you have used it, you must wash it with detergent.
That was going to be my
you must
next
wash it
question.
with detergent, wash it, iron it, you understand, and then put it on again. Don't ever share your mask with anybody. You know, there's no your daughter is sitting down beside you in the car. That mask, give me that mask. Oh, it's my daughter, let me wear it. No, don't do that. That's dangerous. Your son is there. Oh, somebody, you don't know who used this mask, you put it on your face. Don't do that. As a matter of fact, and I won't lie to you, it is not all the time that I get a new mask that I wash it. But what I do is I iron it with hot iron, steam it and iron it, right, to ensure that if there's any virus
sorry, doctor, what is the significance of the ironing? Does the heat kill the germs and the virus?
Yeah, the excessive heat kills every living organism. Excessive heat kills everything. Just like if you put the iron on your skin and you burn your skin, right, it kills those cells on your skin. You know, so first, before you wear any new mask, this non-disposable mask, is always better that you wash. But if you don't wash it, right, then make sure, right, that at least you iron it, the inside part, iron it, and you know, the whole part, iron it. Make sure you expose it to good heat, right, before you put it on. So if there's
Thank
any
you.
virus or any bacteria there, then
Thank
you
you.
would have
Thank
sorted
you
it
very
out.
much. Thank you very much. Now, for those of now where they watch us, the person we will talk to today now, Dr. Ajala, na consultant and real expert in terms of medicine and medication. And the reason why we bring her here today, we say, make una hear from the horse's mouth. In surgeon, he know a lot of medical people will be say they don't die from this virus, and in they in position to explain to us the next section, and we go finish the program a bit late today. Make no vex because we had problem at the start of this second segment, and this next segment that we want to go into is a very important one, and that is the vaccination. Because our doctor here, it was well publicized when he took his vaccination. He took pictures, he take pictures, and he share them, and everybody see him say he don't take the first vaccination, and the second vaccination he go take her. Now, before we go into that, make we talk quickly about our people, because the problem where our BAME people they get, we say lack of compliance. We know they comply. Now, if you go to Asian community on Fridays when they say stay away from mosque, the time when the thing still they fire well, they go all gather inside their imam house, they go do prayers. Our own people too the same, they go say that they do night vigil. In fact, some of our people say wetin be COVID when God power na superpower. So we go pray am out. We go inside prophetess or prophet Lagbaja's house. We go pray am out. Others go say COVID no go come kill me. Make I enjoy my life, Gary. They will go do party. So many of our people have been police or authorities have come in to scatter parties where our people don't organize illegally, where we're not supposed to do. The other day, I saw one social media, I think it was in France, where all these people packed themselves into a very confined space. And when the security came, they were now bolting and trying to escape. And I lost count of how many people where they come out of one small, like basement kind of place. I don't know whether you see that thing. So, what is your advice for our people regarding compliance? Because a lot of us, we know this thing, we know what we've been told to do, but we know they do it. What kind of advice you want to give our people? I beg, doctor.
Uh, it's I'm a Yoruba. I'm of Yoruba origin, and from time to time, like all cultural whatever's in Nigeria, we tend to speak in proverb. So they say Ajatoba manu konigbo fere ode, which means the
Absolutely.
hunter's dog that is going to go missing, right, would not respond to the hunter's whistle. You can tell people and give people information. Ultimately, right, advice is one's, decision is theirs. Any form of congregation at this point in time is mindless, indeed stupid, right? Even our God, where we they worship, right? In they hear everybody, where anybody they. They say give to Caesar what is to Caesar. They don't advise or say make we no congregate. But we talk, say, well, we will go pray together, all of us go congregate. Who talk say you know if you pray alone for your house? Who talk say God no go answer you when you ask your God? Is he not your God? We unfortunately tend to be our own worst enemies. You see, if you look And it's just not us, even the Oyimbos, but the Oyimbos, their own is comes from a different angle. It's an angle of entitlement. You know, entitlement. Look at the Chinese. Everybody says, well, their numbers, they are not telling us the true number, they're not telling us the whatever. The Chinese tell us, right, that about 3 in every million have died from China. Let us say 10. Let's multiply that 10. That is times 30 every million. It is still 4, 5 times less than what has happened in America. Waiting happen. Why a place like America? Why should people be dying like flies there? It's simple. Lack of obedience to simple instruction. If we talk, say the Chinese, then cane them people. The Chinese, they if you break instructions, then go in prison you, then go. But because they fit get their population to obey and to adhere to what are the principles we go allow this thing no spread. That's why the Chinese were able to control the virus in such a way where we say the Americans or the British no fit. Because in our no congregate, making our no congregate. We will talk say we need to pray, we need to. Oyinbo will talk say in get right to do it in for. Well, you fit get the right, but you must be able and ready to deal with the consequences. It's as simple as ABC. We don't see the countries where we say then manage this thing properly. You go come ask me why no they kill them for Nigeria as they kill us for here. Which kind of social distancing will they do for Nigeria? Well, the truth about it is that we don't know. One thing we know, right, is that it is the virus is certainly not as destructive in West Africa, Nigeria, like it is over here. Does that mean, right, that the Nigerians have some form of immunity to it? It is possible. But it is also possible that it is because of the age demographic of Africa, where we say our age demographic, they're low. We don't have people that grow too long into old age. Most of the population is of young age. But that said, this second wave that is going on in Nigeria now seems to be a bit more in line with what we're seeing in the Western world. And we would have to be very careful. So for us, both in Nigeria and both here, the instructions are very simple. It's not hard. It is not hard to wear face masks. One of the things that I liked when it first came out in Nigeria was that we turned that thing into fashion. You know, so you see women wearing all face masks. You see men, people were wearing face masks in line with their football team. If that is what it takes, make we do them. Because it is only when it hits us on an individual basis that we then look back and say, how come? Africans don't they die of this thing badly, including doctors. At the beginning in this country, what happened? Bus drivers. Why bus drivers they die? Bus drivers were dying. It's not social distance. Simple. Simple. You know? So very, very important. Make we know we don't enter New Year now, 2021. Make it not be saying the person wait 2020, no carry away. Now 2021 go carry and away because of lack of due diligence, as Oyinbo they talk. Because we know they're responsible.
Okay, thank you. Tom Shakes Arojolu, ex-Gregorian said that was very insightful coming from you, and he said, "Well done, Dr. Ajala, upgrades." Now, make we go to conspiracy theory before we go back to vaccines. Conspiracy theory. A lot of people talk say, "Oh, then they use and control world population." How that one's supposed to work, I don't understand. But some people say, "Oh, don't mind that political thing." Then they use that, oh, they want to can sell their medicine. They want to can sell their vaccines. If they vaccinate us, we will become dogs. I will come back to that one. But one example, one issue I want to mention, which I personally think say that they're very irresponsible on the part of the Football Association, because a lot of us like football, is the fact that I personally think say they don't allow people back into football stadium prematurely. And as a result of that, we can now see the spike in coronavirus in football generally. And we are at the point where games are having to be called off because of the coronavirus. I think the second wave. Now, do you think that not just football associations, there are other institutions in this country will be say, and not even in this country, worldwide will be say, it be like say that they allow people back, or governments generally, they allow people back into normality. They face people back gradually into normality. For instance, instead of having this tier 1, 2, 3, 5, 500 that this present administration for UK they get, where they do right now, why we not kuku go back into full lockdown? If to say they don't do this full lockdown, or they don't extend them beyond the time where they do the last time, we for don't day free to enjoy Christmas with our families. But because they've succumbed to too much pressure, they open up, they started bringing us back to normality. Now all of us had to spend Christmas in isolation. So, what would be your take on that? Do you think it is too early for certain governments and certain people to be getting slowly back to normality now, or do you think waiting that they do it makes sense?
You see, make I talk one thing. When I was head of department for my hospital, one of the things, right, that we be say I quickly understand. We say when you're in position of responsibility and power, the number of balls that you juggle at the same time are many. And those that are looking, where they look from outside, go they only see that one ball, will really attain to them. The government get very difficult decision making to make. Government has to make decision on anything we in do, waiting be the impact on the people in terms of COVID, waiting be the impact on people in terms of their welfare, general welfare, both health, physical health, mental health. Waiting be the impact, do you understand, on social cohesiveness. All these things now government need to look into, right, before you make the decision making can't be on can't be unidimensional. What do I mean say unidimensional? Not just on COVID, because COVID they affect other things. So much as I go say, right, I not go want talk say has the open stadium gradually tried to open stadium say it was entirely wrong. Yes, we fit look and we can make an argument for that. But I'll also say another thing. You know, the welfare, mental welfare, cohesiveness of the country, right? They're very important. Don't forget, right? We they deal with the population here, where we say from time immemorial, right? they get freedoms. They used to these freedoms. So when you go deal with them, you go they're very different from a society, right? Where they very, very subservient to their government. Say like the Chinese.
Russia.
It go they different. So it's they important. And I believe say even government self, social scientists go back, go look into how a society like this society, a society like America, with all its freedoms, right? How in go fit deal with such a situation in the future. Persons day for this COVID lockdown, where we say they don't beat them stupid. Where we say the husband don't beat them. Where we say the wife don't beat the husband. Where we say the child said they suffer. Why? Because they are all confined. Something that is strange to them.
No breathing space.
No breathing space. Something that is strange to them. You know, so politics day, you know, there are some things where we say government get wrong. You know, the first time all that horse racing in Liverpool or wherever they did the horse racing at the beginning of the pandemic, where they allowed the Spanish team to come to this country, all those were blatantly wrong moves. But to try and gradually bring society back, and this is the other thing, right? Person where they entitled should also have responsibility. You know, you go see people in those stadiums, right? They're telling us, say, making our go there, cover and our face, cover and our make social distance. You go see them, they go to shout, they go come out mask. You wait and give a bit, try exercise them with responsibility. So yes, it wasn't entirely the right thing to do if one looks at it from the point of COVID. But COVID itself, government, they look at them, right? Not in isolation, but in relation to other things. Person leave house, talk say COVID, this COVID don't madam, go inside test go begin blow everybody up. When they carry and go psychiatrist tell them say, well, the guy don't mad, and as then lock him up. So all these kind of things, right? Things that the government has to deal with. So I sympathize with them. But we as a people need to be more responsible. You know something? This guy, everybody shouted at Boris Johnson, shouted at him. He not lock the country down initially. But I respect him. You know why I respect him? Because he battled with the idea of taking people's freedoms away from them. In other words, he's not an autocrat. He battled with it. But unfortunately, these people where you they battle with, where you they try maintain their freedom, they're not responsible. That's the truth. We are not a responsible society. We're a society of entitlement, not responsibility. Why you go tell me, say, make I wear mask? It's our society. Not that, oh, this thing happened, oh, I go wear my mask, right? To try and prevent this thing. I'll be part of the solution. Nobody say I go be part of the problem. I'm not the problem with this society. If you look at places like South Korea where they've got democracy, even with their democracy, right? They still have things that they employ that they can't employ in this country. Right? Absolutely. Where we say they must have access to your phone. You can't put that kind of thing in this country or in America. You know, it is, if you like, get onto this app. Please download this app so that we can monitor you. No, people say, well, how you go monitor me? How you go do that? Because they're entitled. And that is the struggle that the Western world has faced. So yes, some of these things, we'll see that the government has done them. Has the government managed this well? Not entirely. But the difficulty is the uniqueness of the population that the government is dealing with.
Wow.
There are patients that, you know, that now, one of the things I was telling you initially, I couldn't be sure when I could do this, because I'm doing some extra work with organizations over the weekend to reduce the waiting list in organizations. God forbid you have cancer now, right? It's a big problem. The government has to think about that. How do we manage cancer patients in this time of the pandemic? How do we manage patients with cardiac problems in this time of the pandemic? Do we shut down access to medical care for everybody? So it's a difficult ball that the government is juggling.
It is. It is. I agree with you totally. And yes, this is compliance. Once again, is an issue, like you said. Now, the government, they try their best, especially the government of this our Obodo Igbo country. But it is up to us, the people, to be compliant. I remember at the beginning of the first phase lockdown for Nigeria, where people they talk say, we never chop, we never chop. I can't tell some people. In fact, I go join one radio program where one guy from Nigeria they make noise about people dying of hunger. I can't tell and say, if we dey inside war, where we say snipers there everywhere, shey people go come out, go face bullets. The guy comes, now true talk you talk. Because it hasn't got the power or the force of a gun or a bullet. People will say, we want to go out, we want to go out. If we dey for state of war, we go come out. They beg people make them go outside, nobody go want go out. So we go round up with the vaccination, because that's now another conspiracy theory issue. No take vaccination. Why now black people that the vaccine first? All these things going around. What is the advantage, or what are the advantages, my doctor, of the vaccination to us? What are the chances of this vaccination or these vaccines reducing the spread of the virus? Shall we get hope with these vaccines? Shall they don't try them, they don't test them. How reliable these vaccines they? So what is your finally, what is your advice to our people? Shall make we go take the vaccine or not? Because me personally, I never make my mind up. But having said that, I know say plenty of people, they will never make their mind up. But hearing from people like you will encourage me to make the best decision and the correct decision. So fire the go, my brother.
Okay. So me, right, in life, even in my medicine, I like to make things very simple. Very, very simple. I look at the most simple information around, and so waiting be the information where they around now. Now, one of the things we say, Bill Gates, right, say he won't use the vaccine to reduce population. Okay. Let us agree, say Bill Gates won't use the vaccine to reduce population, right? Say Bill Gates and the Chinese go there inside the same agreement to reduce population, and the Chinese will work for Bill Gates. That is one. Two, when they come out this vaccination, right, they talk say the people where they go first vaccinate now healthcare workers. That's why I got it. Healthcare workers and the elderly. If you want to depopulate, check now the doctors where they care for you, you go first kill. I take it very simple. Then third, when you look at America, all those Republicans, where they shout, say, COVID is a little thing, COVID is a little thing. Once the vaccine came out, even though they were not entitled to have the vaccine. Now, them first go collect the vaccine. When they collect the vaccine, waiting then they tell them people, they say they collect the vaccine so that they can encourage others to take the vaccine. Who know how to put meat for mouth, make it disappear? Who knows how they put meat for mouth, make it disappear? When the time they talk say, no, Rubio talk say he collect the vaccine so that people go see, then go encourage. Why Rubio no talk say make him papa will do the vaccine, collect the vaccine, make him stand beside the papa, say my papa don't collect the vaccine, no. Right? If my papa fit collect them, you say fit collect them, but he go collect. Third, in America now, one of the problems they're having in America is that they are even now saying, right, that why is it that BAME individuals in America should be first in line, right? Whereas people of their age, shouldn't be first in line. Well, the truth about it is that it has killed more blacks in America.
Absolutely.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, but the whites there are now coming. So if you see line where we say, Oyimbos full there, then they collect the vaccine, that they give them doctors. You can't do it, say, no, you no go collect. Well, it's up to you. That said, these things are not without precedence. These fears are not unwarranted. In that, when you look at some of the best achievements in medicine, right, these have been discovered on the back of Black ethnic minority individuals. It's been discovered on our backs. So our fears are not unwarranted, but that is why people like us that can see what is happening for what it is now, it is upon us to come out, do you understand, and say to people, look, on this occasion, right, it is to your benefit to have this vaccination. So the next question that people have is, but it has been the vaccination, right, has been right in terms of its, well, the truth about it, right, is that COVID, the coronavirus has been known to mankind for a while. And so even in the starting to build a vaccination, they would not have started from day zero. One of the things that you have in terms of research and everything is money. Money is very important. Even before you start a research on something, right, you might find, right, that 3/4 or 2/3, right, of the time that takes you to develop your research, right, was based on finance. In this case, that wasn't the problem because the money was out there, right? The money, global finance, right, was behind the production of the vaccine. And so that's why the timeline, right, was shortened. Has it been tested to an extent to reduce risk? Well, everything is about risk balance. So far, so good. There are some risks associated with the Pfizer vaccine. There have been cases of what we call Bell's palsy. Now, Bell's palsy is where you have paralysis of the facial muscles, right? It can happen spontaneously. It resolves ultimately spontaneously, but it takes time to resolve. It is associated with viruses that weakens that nerve. And so the face would droop, right? It will be as if one is paralyzed. I can see that being a big concern for women because it's a cosmetic thing, more concern than for men because it's a cosmetic thing. There have been about 4 to 6 cases that have been reported. But remember, millions of these vaccines have been given. Okay? So anything we do as a doctor, right? Anything we do, you have to weigh the risk and the benefits. Put the risk against the benefits and then see whether or not. So there's nothing we do in life that is risk-free. If you go out and you drive in your car, right, there's an element of risk in it. And that is why it is possible for you to have 25 years no claims bonus. Not possible for you to drive without an insurance, even after 25 years of not having an accident. And what that says, right, is that each time you go into your
you
car,
still need the insurance. Yeah.
right, it's a risk-benefit approach. So overall, right, as a practitioner, right, the benefits of taking the vaccination outweighs not taking the vaccination. The difficulties or the suspicion around the vaccination, they're very unfounded. These are not true. If you ask me, somebody like a person like Bill Clinton, his problem is probably a guilt trip, right? With the amount of money where he gets. He get conscience, guilt trip, waiting if it do with that money, where say he go benefit people. But to say in they use that vaccine, or you want to use that vaccine to depopulate the nation, if you want to depopulate the nation, right, then the American politicians, right, wouldn't be first in queue to be collecting the vaccine, even though they're not entitled to. The doctors worldwide in the first world would not be the first to give. They could have even easily given it to the elderly and said, no, not for the doctors, let's give it to the elderly. Once they started giving it to doctors first, do you understand? If your doctor has had the vaccination and you refuse not to have the vaccination, then it's all good. We are all adults.
Okay. Thank you very, very, very much, my dear brother. I mean, I know how busy you are, and for taking this time out to sacrifice this time free of charge for our people, you don't do well.
It's a pleasure.
And hopefully, by the grace of God, as time goes on, we will move out of this kind of situation where we're inside.
Yeah.
And we will come talk about other medical issues, especially issues related to our women, because that's now your field of expertise. So we're very, very grateful for your very, very expert advice, and we thank Honor very well. We know say they easy to just come this country, especially person who don't become doctor from Nigeria, to cross over. They easy, because gone are the days where they accept us straight away, but now you have to. I have a friend where we say from in the doctor from military hospital by WAEC Yaba, but I don't know whether I still there. But he come here, fit practice, he do commute. He had to go to Ireland and go to Romania, blah blah blah, before he could practice. So, but for people like Ona, I know say they easy. You don't go through a lot to get to where you did now, and you get a wealth of experience to share with our people. And we're very grateful. Thank you very much, Dr. Tosin Ajala.
Thank you very much for having me.
So much. And we would love to have you back at some point, but we will give you a break. We will not interrupt because we know how busy you are. Thank you very much to regard on our family. And a lot of people have been, just a very last minute question. I don't know whether you can take it, but I'll read it out anyway.
I'll take it.
From Princess Toyi Onogorua, she said there's been speculation that there are 2 different vaccines, one for Black people and another for Oyinbos. How true is this, Dr. Ajala? Personally,
absolutely false.
No smoke without
false. Absolutely false.
Princess Toyi, the answer is absolutely false. There's no vaccine for Igbos and Black people.
Presently, there are 3 vaccines in play. Yeah. One is from Pfizer. One is from Moderna, right? The Pfizer and Moderna are both what we call messenger RNA vaccines. And then there is
sorry,
messenger
RNA.
Vaccines. And what messenger RNA does is that once they give you the vaccine, it stimulates your body to produce just a part, right, of the protein on the coronavirus. Once that is produced, your body then forms immunity to that protein. Once your body forms antibodies and T cells form to forms a defense to that protein, if you ever get exposed to the coronavirus, you'll be immune to it. So that is the Pfizer and the Moderna. The Moderna is mainly American. So those are those two vaccines. The Pfizer is the one that we have been using in the UK. The Oxford one, right, is similar to the old-fashioned way of making vaccines, where you get part of the virus, right, you replicate it, right, and you use it as the vaccine. So that is the Oxford one. There has been one or two question marks vis-a-vis the Oxford one, whether or not it is as effective, right, as the statistics that came out of the Moderna and the Pfizer one, right? And what we know, right, is that, let us say, right, that it is not even as effective, right? What we know is that it is effective enough. And what I suspect, right, is that the Oxford one would be the vaccine of majority in this country, as opposed to the Pfizer. But that one vaccine is there for blacks and one vaccine is there for whites is completely false. What you may find is that we differ in how we respond to the vaccines, just as we differed in how we responded to the disease process itself. So we may find that, but that there is a different vaccination, no, there's nothing like that.
Thank you very much, my brother. I promise that was the last question. Any other question? Thank you very much. We've gone well over time, but it was well worth it. And I'm sure that our people will appreciate this. Thank you very much. And without much ado, I will let you go now. You can go. Have a very happy New Year. We pray to God for safety and guidance for you and your family, because you are the proper frontline people, and we pray that God preserves people like you for us. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
God bless you.
Have a nice one. Bye now. Bye. We go now. You can go now, sir. Bye. So, my people, that is it. There will not be any music to usher us out today because we don't overrun our time very well. So I would just say a very happy New Year to honor people again. I thank honor well. I hope to say this program done day very, very, very educative for all of us. So we have to go now. Thank you very much. Continue to stay tuned. Without you, there will be no us. So on behalf of the engine room, our dear First Lady, our McQueen, sorry, everything don't run come off from my head. Well, on behalf of the engine room, DJ Alexo, DJ Ultimate Adex, myself, and McQueen ourselves, thank you very much, and God bless you. We will speak to you next Saturday with another two very important members of our community. God bless and take care. Bye-bye. I have to bow out now. Take care. Bye now. Mujibishi, that was the name I was forgetting. Death and his sickness will forget you. Mujibishi is the name I was trying to remember. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye. Nice one.